Okay. Hey, wonderful people. This is Anna from Positive Empowerment 101, and I'm so very excited to be doing this video for you today. I have the pleasure to be able to introduce to you my 101 buddy, a dear friend of mine who is currently smashing it in his very own online business, which he's built by himself from the ground up. Now, I'm super pumped to bring to you the founder of Your Journey 101, Mr. Leo Comerton, and to ask him just a few questions to really dig into its digital marketing journey, and also to get the inspirational juices flowing and re-energizing you to realize that by starting an online business, and in Leo's case becoming an affiliate marketer, that it can lead to that lifestyle that you have always dreamt of. Now, before kicking off, I'd just like to give a very big shout out, I hope you don't mind me doing this, Leo, to Peggy. Peggy is Leo's beautiful wife who has supported him throughout this journey. And I think it is hugely important to recognize that behind every great man is an even greater woman. Sorry, Leo, I just had to say that.
Absolutely. I just show up. That's all I do.
You can do it without her, that's for sure.
Absolutely
so yeah, thank you, Leo. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. And how are you doing in sunny Cayman Islands?
I'm doing great. I'm thrilled to be here. It's such a joy to carve out a bit of time together, and to connect with your future members that are on this path to learning these digital skills. And myself and Anna met through the SFM, the Six Figure Mentors, and have become steadfast buddies along with some other members there. And it's just a really exciting space to be in. We're only a few months in. We're only a couple of steps ahead of where you're going to be in your journey. So we got tons of stuff to share with you. But yes, I do acknowledge that my beautiful wife Peggy did 98%, and I kind of tried to stay up to speed with it.
You take all the glory.
But yeah, it's a great space to be in. So thank you so much for being.
Absolutely. Right. Now I think this is going to be a fun and informative call for everyone. So let's just dive in. Okay. Sure. So I've got a few questions for Leo that I've already mapped out. So I'll just start. So, like, you were in hospitality industry, pretty much bang on about 20 years, working on cruise ships or cruise liners and well-paid jobs, traveling the world. And then you moved into a role a little less nomadic for a well-known hotel chain in the Cayman Islands, which from the outside looking in both sounds like a dream job. Now, like, I obviously know your situation, but I just wanted to tee it up for our viewers. What was the reasoning for changing and getting out of the corporate world? And how did you metamorphosize, I suppose the right word would be, from working for a firm to starting an online business and becoming a budding entrepreneur that you are?
Great question. And it's been and continues to be a big adjustment, but for all the right reasons. And yeah, I came from my dream, I guess, in my mid-20s was to travel the world, and found a way to do that, and started working with a cruise line that I thought I'd do it for a year, and just built up a crazy career doing it, and got to fulfill my dream. But about 6 years ago, I started to realize the more that I moved up in the corporate side of things, the less freedom and time it was giving me. And while the salary was great, but it just wasn't leaving me much time for anything else. And I got to a point where I felt it was just too much, and that I needed to make change. So I made the decision at 20 years to walk away from that company. I moved down to Grand Cayman, where we now get to call home. And Anna mentioned working with I was always curious to work in hotels. I've never worked in hotels before. So I wanted to take what I'd learned through the cruise lines and equate that to hotels. So I worked with the Ritz-Carlton brand down here as a food and beverage manager. Absolutely. I was always a fan of the brand. I always loved the brand. But I started working with them, and initially I loved it. And then within a month, I'm saying, hold on, this is kind of exactly what I walked away from, to try and make this change. So that's when my journey really began. I knew it just wasn't for me. I mean, I was stepping back into that 4 or 5 meetings a day, 14 hours a day, phone ringing at night when I get home from work. I just didn't want that in my life anymore. So I spent 4 years trying to find this, and I did a lot of research online, and I came across the SFM in July 2020. And I liked what I saw. I'd done a ton of research, came across other opportunities. For me, the SFM, there was so much under one umbrella. It wasn't just a case of watch a few videos, get rich quick. I wasn't interested in that. This was sustainable. This was a place where you could come in, learn the digital skills. You were going to be mentored. You were going to be coached along the way. And that was really appealing to me. So I got to a point of saying, this is the space that I want to be in. I came in with a very open mind, and I knew within days, and my expression that I was telling people was, I'm home. I found my new home. And that's exactly how it's been. And it's been building on that since I started in August last year through to now. So massive change, hospitality sector, online business, worlds apart, absolute worlds apart. But this is exactly what I was looking for. And it brings me not just that passion back for what I do on my terms, it also gives that opportunity for financial freedom and freedom to be your own boss and so many other things. So I know this is the right space to be in. I've no doubt about it. So
Wow. Wow, that sounds amazing. Like, from my point of view as well, like the hospitality industry is all about providing value to other people, and that is what the online businesses should be about as well, and that is what you definitely provide. So I think there is a slight merge in the two businesses in that sense, and I can imagine you brought a lot of your skills from what you've learned over the last 20 years, because you're only 40, and you brought that over with you and all those kind of skills. So that's brilliant. Thank you. That's an amazing answer. Right, the biggest thing holding a lot of us back from sorry,
no, I was just going to throw a real quick caveat into that. What you're saying about bringing your past with you, that's really, really relevant when you get into the online world. There are some people out there will have had different experiences with trying different things online, and it won't have worked. I get to coach and mentor a lot of new members now to teach them digital skills. Anything you have learned before you step into the SFM becomes really, really relevant. Whether that's hospitality, whether that's running your own business, whether that's being doing something else online before, it all becomes very relevant as you get more and more into the journey. So don't feel that you've nothing to bring to this and you're starting completely from scratch. You're not quite starting from scratch, and that becomes more apparent when you really start to get into it. So just wanted to throw that in as well, Anna.
Absolutely, thank you. Right, the biggest thing, like holding a lot of us back from achieving great things, and I think we've all been there at some point, is fear. And whether we recognize that that's what we call it, that's what stops us. What fears, what were the fears, I suppose, that you had going into an online business?
How long have we got?
Not long. You've got places to go.
Fear was a huge that could have potentially stopped this from happening at all. And Anna very kindly alluded that I was 40. I'm a little bit past that. I actually just turned 53. Fear for me came on many levels. My age, I felt that the online space was for the younger kids, the millennials, and whatever the new generation after millennials are. So I felt that there was no space for me in there. I didn't have I had no background in online marketing, zero. And I had very limited computer skills. Through my work, I would know my way around, Excel sheets and Word sheets and emails. I just didn't feel I had what it takes. I'd never designed a website before. But what I came to learn was that everything I needed to learn, I'd learned through the SFM. And I'm living proof. I mean, if you're willing to show up, to put in the work and learn the digital skills, this is the place to learn them. And looking back at it now, there's nothing that I took on that I wasn't able to get through because I had such a support structure around me. And that's the game changer with this environment. So, fear is normal. It can be what holds a lot of people back. But I knew I wanted this bad enough. I wanted change in my life. And typically that's, you've signed up, you saw Anna's video, you signed up to receive the free video series. The one thing we generally all have in common is that we want change. There's something you saw in that you want to change. And that's what can separate who moves forward and who doesn't move forward. It can be fear. So I encourage you, we're going to embrace you into the SFM community. Anna's going to be your referral partner. There's nothing better. You're going to have a massive amount of support there. So trust that the fears that you may come into this with, they're very quickly going to disappear because of the environment that you're stepping into. Give it a try. Absolutely.
100%. Right, I do think it's pretty safe to say that most of us are not, or not all of our listeners have started something new at some point in our lives. Many of us start things and then feel like it feels great to begin with. You get that buzz, don't you, and that energy. But then you come across a hurdle after a hurdle, and then we often tend to quit or give up, and it just it's just too hard. So what's been the biggest challenges that you've faced along the way have you kept going, kept that motivation?
I think for me was an accepting that I was starting with a blank sheet essentially. And that, I came in with an understanding that I knew a few things about the business world in general, not specifically the online world. I needed to put that aside and trust in the process. And that's when things really started to accelerate for me because I focused on what was right in front of me. And when you enter into the SFM, it's all broken down into bite-sized pieces. So initially you're thinking, oh my God, I got to do all these things. But I learned very quickly through listening to the experts, just focus on exactly what's in front of you. Don't worry about what's coming 2 or 3 or 4 modules later. And that really worked for me, but it was in accepting that. Of course, there's going to be bumps in the road, but the amazing thing about that was that that's when the support structure really kicks in. So if you get stuck doing something with your website, you have IT technical support through the SFM, you have your own SFM consultant, you have your referral partner through Anna. Yes, you're sitting down learning on the modules yourself, but you're not taking this journey on your own. So there's no bumper, there's no challenge you're going to hit that you're not going to find a solution to. If you go in with that understanding that a bump or two is going to come, but that it's going to be okay. Then when the actual challenge comes, it's like, well, I kind of knew this was coming, but I know where to get help. And that's what happens. You push through it and you look back at it and say, well, that actually wasn't so bad after all. So it's just an understanding that you're taking on something new, and that there will be times when it will feel a bit like a challenge. And that's when you really lean into your support system.
I think going back to what you just said about doing what's in front of you and following the process, those modules that we go through, a lot of the time people rush through them. It's like we just need to get to the end. It's almost like you're back in school and but a real key is to take your time with them, to really understand them, and try not to be in too much of a hurry to get to the end. Process it all and put it into action. I think I was a little bit guilty of that myself, was rushing through, and I've had to go back and revisit them. Whereas if I'd taken a bit more time, I would have got through it a lot quicker in the long run. So yeah, great point.
It is the foundation. The nice thing is that the modules are there for you 24/7. So, it's not like you have to show up at 9 a.m. every morning to start your training. No, you get to customize it around your lifestyle and what works for you. And I find myself, I'm 7 months in now. I find myself still come back to pieces within the modules just to refresh myself. And it's great to have that opportunity to do that. So as Anna says, find the pace, and it's not, there is an expression, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's so true, because those modules, they're the foundations of your company. So we all have things we do a little bit differently given the time over. That's where, as a referral partner, we can help you so much in your journey based on the things that we've experienced on ours, and that's our commitment to anybody coming in. So
fantastic. This quote I absolutely love, and it's like my mantra that I live by now, that I hadn't really heard before or taken notice of, and it's something that keeps me going, and it's quitters never win and winners never quit. And it's a quote by Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. So I'd love you to spill your magic recipe for success. What are the 3 key areas that people starting out on an online business could focus on that can help them to keep their focus and not give up or quit?
Wow. Powerful question. It's funny because we've all learned things that we didn't know, and that's amazing what you've taken with you about quitting versus not quitting. I have one similar, and I learned it through my journey, that the only way to fail is to quit. Mm-hmm. And that can serve you really well when you come into this community. If you make the decision to invest time in yourself and to make a really small investment in your future, you can lean into that determination that you are not going to quit this, that whatever it takes. The thing for me was that there were so many benefits of creating my own online business. That motivated me every day. I wanted to have my life a certain way. I could not do that in the corporate world anymore. So I came in with an understanding that whatever this is going to take, I'm going to see this through. And similar to Anne, having these things close to you will serve you really, really well. And we talked about fear earlier, and I was certainly very fearful. I knew at some point I was going to have to tackle social media. I had stopped using social media about 7 years ago. Generally, Facebook, I just found it to be negative, and look at me, self-gratification, bullying. I didn't want to be in that space. So that was a fear for me. I had to lean into that fear, get over it, and embrace it. And it's like a whole different space now, because I spend my time, we have private Facebook groups, SFM, Facebook Tribe, and I've never seen anything like it. It's the most supportive, motivational, inspirational platform I've ever seen on social media. Added to that, another fear was that I decided one of the most powerful ways to advertise was to make video. And when I thought about that initially, I'm like, hell no, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to make videos. And again, you kind of consider these things and lean into them. It's not for everyone, but I understood that to give this the best opportunity, that I needed to lean into those things, the fears, the grit and determination, never to quit, and to show up every day, make this journey move forward every single day. So that would be my top 3, even the days. And you're going to need to figure that out. You're going to have to find ideally 1 to 2 hours a day, maybe 4 days a week. We all have busy lives. Family, kids, work, school drops, so many other things. to be really serious about this, you're going to need to figure that out. And in my case, it was like, well, I'm just going to get up an hour earlier. And it was as simple as that. That to somebody else might have been, no, but I can't get up an hour. Yes, you can. If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to make it work. You know, not everyone will be successful. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. So you need to stand out among the crowd to really set yourself up for success. Trust in the process, because it's amazing. It's been over a decade in the making. It does work. We're living proof that it does. But to be, you know, that determined going into it, and that will see you through. It absolutely. There's no way you're not going to make it. It's as simple as that. It's just impossible. Success will come if you doggedly refuse to give up. Success will come, and sooner than you think if you really apply yourself. So
absolutely. I mean,
I can talk for hours.
We're quite different in the sense of how much time we can spend on our business, especially in the early days. I've got 2 little kiddies, working a full-time job and trying to, you know, build my business. But you can make that time. You know, I do. I get up at 5:30 every morning, and I have my start time and my end time every day, and I allocate a certain amount of hours to it. And you can do that. You know, and we're all different and how quickly you can go through it. But yeah, just keep moving forward, keep failing forward, and don't quit.
Exactly. Something I will add to that: if this is for you, you're going to feel it very quickly, because you're going to get what's called a fire in the belly, and it starts to get really exciting. You start to do the training modules, and you start learning, and if it's like, this is actually real. I can find my space here, and that's when it gets really exciting. So all of a sudden, getting up an hour earlier is not a hassle, because you can't wait to get back into it.
You almost bounce out of bed,
getting
don't
up 1
you?
hour early,
You just bounce out.
it's so different. It's so, instead of dragging yourself out possibly to your current job, you just can't wait to get into this. It's the highlight of your day. And you know, you may think, well, there's not much I can learn in an hour. Really? I mean, think about it. 1 hour a day, if you can do that 5 days a week for a month, that's 20 hours a month. Think about that. 20. A full-time job, certainly in Europe where I'm from, that's a 40-hour week. Anything after that's over. You've created a half of another full-time job just by getting up 1 hour early every day. You can do it. You absolutely can do it. And 1 hour a day can make a massive impact on this journey.
Absolutely. So going forward, obviously businesses evolve the longer you're there. So where do you see your business heading in the future?
So we started a journey in August 2020. We launched mid-October our online business, and it's been a case of just rapid growth. I mean, we started at a time where, you know, the online world was busy before last year. It's just exploded now. There's no faster growing business on the planet right now. So this is the best time to get involved in this. So we launched the company in October. It's been growing, not even month over month, week over week, it's been growing. And it's a case now of nurturing, you know, where I find in the hospitality sector, you're making decisions, things happen very quickly. With your online business, it's a different approach. You're planting seeds to grow your business little by little by little, and it grows more and more and more. So that's been our focus right now, is just to focus on our current business in growing that initial online business. We already have plans for July of this year to launch a second online company. And that's an amazing place to be in, because, you know, within a year to be launching 2 companies, there's not many places on land you can do that, unless you're a chain, you know, a retail chain or something like that. But that growth that quickly does not traditionally happen in the online world. The bricks and mortar business, you're going to spend tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands before you even open the doors. You're probably going to run at a loss for the first year. You may break even, and then that's when the profits start coming. We launched, and within 3 weeks we were profitable. Within 6 weeks, everything we had invested into learning those digital skills, we had earned that back, and everything since December has either been reinvested back into the company or profit. So it's taken those exact same digital skill sets that I've learned through the SFM and applying it to other areas of business. So, you know, you can take this in so many different directions. Ideally, your passion, you know, what you really truly feel passionate about, that can be the strongest branding you can make. So we're working on other projects based on what we have learned here. So it's really exciting. It's great. And to do it on terms.
Fantastic. And that's a great thing. It just doesn't have to, it starts with, you know, the first steps, and then you build on it and expand. And yeah, that is super exciting. So can't wait to see what you have in the pipework down the track. So you've been doing this for the last 6 to 7 months, and so since joining SFM and the affiliate educational program, how's it changed you as a person?
Oh my gosh, I would say night and day. I mean, my last job after Ritz-Carlton here, because I knew within a short space of time that Ritz-Carlton wasn't for me. I went into a sales job. I liked it. I didn't love it. By far, I didn't love it, but it paid the bills. But I get anxious. I used to come home in the evening and the phone would still be going off. I used to have to work half day Saturday, which I absolutely hated. And I would literally turn that phone off Saturday afternoon. I put it in a drawer so that I couldn't see it until Sunday evening. I knew I had no choice. I had to turn that phone on Sunday evening and start answering back emails and messages from clients. I used to change. I'd physically change. Saturday afternoon, I'd be the happy-go-lucky Leo bouncing around. Was just, we're blessed having beautiful weather and beautiful beaches here. We'd be flopping around, catching up with friends, barbecues. I was in a happy place. I guarantee you by five o'clock on a Sunday evening, I started changing. I go quiet. And the reason I was going quiet was because I knew by 6 o'clock latest, I had to turn that damn phone back on and my week was starting again. So I used to carry that with me. I'd literally have a sense of dread when I'd wake up on a Monday morning. I literally had those Monday morning blues. I liked being on the road with my accounts, with my clients. I hated the office. It was not a happy place, quite a toxic environment. They were my days. It was glimpses of happiness, followed by all this stuff that I felt I had to do in order to have those glimpses of happiness. You mentioned that I'm 7 months into my journey now. I've already achieved next to everything I wanted to achieve coming into this. The only exception is the financial freedom, but that's already about 40% to where I want to get that, to make this completely sustainable, to outdo any career I've ever had before. And it's on track to do that, but you need to grow it and grow it and grow it. But I already have the benefit of the things that I wanted to feel by creating my online business. I started feeling those very quickly after I launched the company because it gives me that passion and drive. I jump out of bed in the morning. I can't wait to get started on my job, my company, my job. One of the things that gives me the most joy is coaching and mentoring, new members coming in, teaching digital skill sets, which is what you're going to have an opportunity to do with Anna being your referral partner. There's nothing gives me more joy than that because it's impacting somebody's life that has had their own roller coaster journey of being on this, hamster wheel and didn't know there was a way to get off and has been doing something for years that they haven't been happy, haven't been fulfilled, literally trading the time for money. And then they found SFM. And I'm a product of that. I get to live my days exactly the way I want to now. I do start my days early because I want to, but I get to do it in a way that I can work from home. This morning, I worked from the Marriott Hotel for a couple of hours. I mean, how cool is that? Usually 2 o'clock latest, my laptop is done. I'm closed. My business is closed for the day. That's the balance of my life. Whereas before my career was there, my quality life was there. That's it now. It changes the dynamics completely. And it changes how you feel. I mean, I'm just a much happier, much more content person. And I know this is where I want to spend the rest of my career. Absolutely.
Incredible. And growing it too. And it's just, I think that's why a lot of us have got into this business, is because we just, your 9 to 5 job is soul destroying basically, and you're a slave to the wage, and people don't want that. We want freedom. We deserve freedom. Everyone deserves to be happy. So that's fantastic. It's a sad but happy ending. So
true. If anything, I wish I'd found it sooner, but then I can't regret anything I've experienced up to now. I just kind of came at the right point in my life, I would say. So
I think so. Right, I have one final question. Now, this is a question that I finish a lot of my chats with. Yeah, drum roll.
Drum roll.
Right, it's a very hard-hitting question, but it's just a bit of fun. If you were to have dinner with a dinner party with 5 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why? And you have only 2 minutes to answer it in. I might push it a bit.
I need 2 minutes to think about it.
Come on, get that brain matter working.
People.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it. So, absolutely, no question about this. So, 5 people, I got it straight away. We have what's called a support group, an accountability group that we created through the SFM. Myself and Anna have become really good friends together, but also 2 other members. We come into the SFM around similar times. We're spread out between Grand Cayman, the UK, Scotland, Spain. We just have this lovely connection, and we jump on calls every couple of weeks, and you can expect that to happen when you do come into the SFM. You just connect with people, and these beautiful friendships come from it. Because of COVID, we've never actually met in person, and that is a dream of all of ours. It's debatable whether it's going to be Spain or it's going to be Cayman. It probably will be Cayman. I don't know. Let's see. So in a heartbeat, it's not an if, it's a when. We are going to sit down and break bread together and have several dinners. The 5th person I would love at the table, who I've always looked up to, and I now get to spend time in a similar space, is Richard Branson. As a kid, I always just loved his tenacity to do things differently, to say to hell with the establishment. I've never seen the guy wear a tie, which as a kid I thought was awesome. Read his books, and I always just his tenacity, regardless of how many things he tried to fail, he just pushed through and pushed through and pushed through. I mean, a more modern day person that does that would be Elon Musk, who has just amazing stories to tell. These sort of people have always inspired me for their grit and tenacity. So I would love, and he's a cool guy as well. I mean, I've a bit of playful side in me as well. You know, Richard Branson was a master at, you know, free publicity and doing all these shock values when he was launching airlines and different things. I started to get a bit of a reputation within the SFM community. My website, I actually jump in our swimming pool here in a full suit. And that was kind of a thumbs up to Richard Branson, that I'm done with the corporate world. So my kind of people. It's going to be a long dinner.
Well, I mean, it's poor Richard Branson. That's all I have to say. You won't know what's hit him. Right. Just that's pretty much everything, Leo. Thank you so much. And wow, that was just an incredible half an hour. Now, if you want to find out more about the legend, who is Mr. Leo Comerton, head over to his YouTube channel or his website. I've put the links below, and he is one of the kindest, most genuine people I have ever met. And I think you would agree with me that this has been one inspirational call. Thank you everyone for watching. Please comment below, hit the like button, and if you want to learn how to start your very own online business from scratch, then also click the link below and find out more. Your time to grow is now. Thank you, Leo.
You're so welcome, Anna. Lovely catching up, and we look forward to welcome you in. Thanks so much.
Lovely.